Hey YouTube, another beautiful day out here. Wanted a good lead in. Fire a musket, but I'll run you through. Indeed. So once again, America, here we are. I don't know, most of this won't apply to most of my viewers, but maybe the word will get out. Maybe somebody that this applies to. Most of the angst I see is on social media, and I guess it applies to the people who won't see this, but probably need to take it to heart, because that's who I'm talking to. But we have this omnibus $1.3 trillion budget that just got approved, and the gnashing of teeth on the conservative side is drastic, as we've seen. And it's like, we told you so. Told you. That's you got to say it at some point. At some point you got to be able to break down and say, hey, I told you so. We told you they were no different than anybody, than the others. There's no difference between the Democrats and Republicans. The only difference is you get corporate fascism or communism. They're both going the same direction. They're both on the same path. They're just on different sides of the railroad tracks. One's on one rail, one's on the other. It's a slight difference in how that works. That's all it is, people. People are all, there's all kinds of hashtags in the GOP in 2018 and everything else. Like, all these people are all indignant. Like, what did you expect from a New York Democrat? And all the henchmen that run the GOP as well. Corporatism. You know, we've seen all the examples of it. And the people that are all surprised, like mad about it, like you didn't know this was coming, is shocking. It'd be nice to be pleasantly surprised for once. It'd be nice for once to have Congress do the right thing and be surprised about it and be like, hey, that was good. All right, a win for the people. Nope, people lose continuously. Over and over, we're continuing to lose. Even with the Trumpster in charge, he got all upset, like he was not going to sign it because it didn't have his wall funding and it didn't have a solution for his 800,000 pet projects in DACA that he wants to get votes from. So he acted all mad about that, like he wasn't going to sign it, but he signed it today, this morning, well, a couple hours ago now. And then the response is just amazing. America, you got it because you asked for it. You had him up there during, and I'm saying him, I'm talking about Trump. He was up there during the primaries. And you had the biggest contrast between him and Rand Paul. That's where your contrast was, right? And he continued to belittle him and not talk about substantive matters, but insult and just throw bombs at people, and everybody got all excited. Yeah, he's going to talk back to people and tell them the way it is. No, he's just going to make you feel good because he got some emotional arguments. Nothing of substance. Still nothing of substance. So you got what you asked for. You have to get a corporate con man who's in it for himself, who's conning you all into getting emotional arguments and selling you a used car. That's what you got. And yeah, I don't know what it's going to take for Americans to understand. But hopefully more and more people are realizing now. I mean, people are talking about throwing the GOP under the bus here at the end of the year. Unfortunately, that's going to be very painful. Agreed. And no doubt. And the pain is coming one way or the other. It looks like there's going to be war with China, Russia, etc., whoever. Whatever, however it ends up being going down, they keep pushing for it. I mean, we're at war with like 5 different countries, physically engaged, full on, with other governments, not just the rebel groups that we fight, but governments we're actually fighting. And people get all upset about this, like they weren't told, like they weren't warned. Yeah, you had Rand Paul last night on Twitter going through every single page of that 2,200 some page bill, listing the misgovernment and the just undermining of your entire constitutional republic. And, you know, couple thousand retweets or whatever here and there, a couple thousand people following, whatever. But it doesn't matter to people. You could have had Rand Paul as president, but he wasn't emotional enough for you. He wasn't going to put people in their place. No, he was going to put the Constitution in its place. Big difference of what's needed and what you want. If you don't have a principle, it's a nice looking falcon, looks like. Maybe. Sorry. But instead, you all sit here and be all excited because he talks like he's in a bar to people. You got a womanizer, and everybody gives him that pass. You knew that was coming. He'd been divorced like, what, 3 times? You had to know there was other stuff going on other than just these wives. And no, people are surprised. People are like, it doesn't matter. No, it matters because it means you have no character. It means you have no loyalty to anything except for yourself. It did matter. It does matter. And everybody just gave it a pass because of the emotional arguments 3 years ago now. It's frustrating on my end, to a large degree. It's frustrating to a lot of you people out there. I understand. Because you want something better, but you think you don't have it. But yet it was right there in the primary, and you let the media manipulate you into biting for this because they knew he was their best option because he agrees with half the things they want. Anyway, yeah, they wouldn't get the whole money with Hillary like they would with Hillary, but hey, Donald's a good option. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to take for America. I don't know what's going to take, but those that are now more awake, more wide open, like, okay, Trump is not the guy. Most of Congress is not going along with anything to help the people, or constitutional principles that are meant to help the people. The only way this is going to change, not only is this going to change, you got to change the whole thing. If you haven't heard it, you're hearing it again. Some of you are hearing it again. If you haven't heard it, you're hearing it now. Dissolution of this system in DC is the only thing that we can focus, that we need. That said, that's the ultimate thing we need to solve this. You cannot ride this and try to change it and change its course. It has to be destroyed. Until that happens, your life, your grandchildren's lives are not going to get any better. This debt cycle, this system of continuous putting more and more burdens on the people, filling their own pockets, all these things that are going on, further control over the people through unconstitutional means, which unconstitutional won't even mean anything in a couple of years, because it's been so disregarded that people understand it's a natural thing at that point. But the lawlessness will continue, and the shackles around all of us will get tighter and tighter until that is dissolved. We're back at, I don't know, 1740, 1765. Where are we? We're obviously not at 1775. We're not there yet. We don't have enough people involved, enough people suffering to get that involved. That's apparent. It's right, and it's still on an individual basis. It's not on a group basis yet of people that are willing, they're going to be able to get together to do something to those type of actions. But it's going to take individual actions to get to that point. So people need to inform other people. If you're just now coming around to this realization of how bad DC is, because I say DC because it's not a Republican Democrat thing. It is a DC thing. The thing that the Anti-Federalists warned us about is here, is now. Read it if you don't know what I'm talking about. The Anti-Federalists completely warned about the total control from a central government based in Washington, D.C., in that 10-mile square that was designated in the Constitution. They warned us about it, and that there needed to be the proper controls, and that's where we got the 10 Amendments. But then the 10 Amendments were eroded over decades, hundreds of years, and the states abdicating their authority, and ultimately the people, being the ultimate check on the Constitution, abdicating their authority over that central government. And now it's reversed. People think the government has authority over them. No, it's the other way around. But until it's dissolved and gone, people, nothing's going to change. You're going to have more Donald Trumps. You're going to have more Hillary Clintons. And they're just going to get worse and worse. So what's it going to take, America? What's it going to